So if you saw the previous video of this MCI 9 that came in where the owner just bought it and the seller told him that it had new brakes and new airbags on it. Well, he technically said they were done, but the owner went back over his notes. He took notes when he talked to the seller. He got very detailed notes, and he asked, is there anything that, work that he knows needs to be done to the bus? The only thing the guy mentioned in the notes was it needed a new windshield washer fluid reservoir. That's such a piddly little thing to be the one thing that he mentioned that he knows that it needed when the brakes were the most dangerous brakes we'd ever seen come in on a bus here. That was just crazy to me. But he has since, it is buyer beware, all sales are final, no warranties or anything. But I guess in Kentucky, they're real serious about where he bought the bus, that they're serious about a seller misrepresenting something that he was selling. So he did send some kind of a letter to the seller, and he's hoping to get some money back on the deal. I think this was close to a $40,000 bus that he bought, and the work that needs to be done on things that were supposed to already have been done is, $15,000 probably. So we'll see what happens with that. But we're going to continue to go through this bus here and show you where we're at and what we're making progress, and we're having trouble still finding some parts. Yeah, here's a picture of that broken brake drum. It's broken in a few places. It's ready to just completely fall apart. It would expand, open the gap when you would step on the brakes, and the wheel seals were bad. The brakes were all just nasty, and Webb has since discontinued the manufacturing of that brake drum, so we're having trouble finding that too. We got things cleaned up though, and it's going back together. We're lubing the other brakes. There had been no maintenance done on these whatsoever. They're very stiff and hard to move, and we've been greasing them up and working them back and forth, getting everything working properly on it. We're really going through the brakes on this thing. They were by far the worst brakes we've seen ever come in here. And this guy just took his family on a trip to Florida on this bus because it was supposed to have new brakes on it. And then the airbags obviously were supposed to be new, and they're terrible. But we're going through this, getting the brakes put together on it, ordering parts. We couldn't find 2 brake drums. We might have to have some manufactured from another vendor. So we're working on that still too. Make sure that S-cam gets greased really good too.
Fill the void now.
That was a whole lot of cleaning for Jonathan to get that far. Yeah, if you hadn't seen the video where we had the hill paved, so the hill part of the driveway has asphalt on it now. It's much, much improved. It really turned out nice. It was a big expense, but someday we'll get it all the way to the shop, but now the hill won't be so dusty when buses fly up and down the hill. Yeah, we still haven't been able to get this brake drum in, so we're going to go ahead and clean this one up real good. We're going to weld it up, so we'll get it welded back together, so it'll be good to go for a while. Okay, so that welded up real good. I think we did a great job on that. No matter what you say, but that's not safe to weld it. I mean, it's safer now than it was when it came in. And if you think we're idiots for welding that drum and using it, well, you're a bigger idiot if you believe that we were actually going to do that. No way in heck are we going to weld it. I welded it with sandals on my feet, hoping that you'd pay attention to that. No, we're not welding it together. Well, we did, but just as a joke. So it's not going back on the bus. We have the new brake drum coming. I just figured I would throw you for a loop and have a few people ready to drop their phone in the toilet while they were getting ready to comment some nasty comment about us welding a brake drum together. No, we're not really welding it together to put back on the bus. That was just a joke. Don't lose your shit. Yeah, we had our air lines to the air compressor for the shop because the air compressor's outside, well, in a container outside. So some of these lines, we have PEX that runs outside. And I always knew not to use PEX outside for plumbing because UV light degrades it. This has been outside for a little over a year and it exploded. So definitely don't have PEX outside. All right, so we got the new brake linings on. This is the one that had the cracked drum and the leaky wheel seal. It's looking much, much better. So we got all the hubs going back together now. Bearings are inspected, new wheel seals and everything. Brakes are all adjusted and cleaned real well. This front hub's also all back together, new wheel seal, brakes cleaned, adjusted, everything lubed up. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the budget for doing new airbags right now. And those airbags are old and very dry rotted looking. I told him he needs to order at least one of each to carry with him because at some point one's going to fail, but he was told, you know, they were all new when he bought it, and they're clearly not. This one's got new bearings and races going in it. Those were the old brake linings that we took off of there. So the new linings are all on there. New wheel seal on this one, brakes all adjusted, cleaned and lubed, everything good to go. Yeah, again, that airbag, we'll get it repositioned on there, but that thing is not healthy looking. There it is, it just came in. A brand new brake drum. UPS, 157 pounds. Look at that. $810 for a brake drum. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow we'll have this all back together and get it ready to go for what it's got. Unfortunately, his budget is already completely blown with just the work that we had to do on this. Hopefully he'll get some money back from the seller. I don't think there's any, he'd have to go to court to try and do it. And I don't even know if he would win that. So hopefully you're relying on the seller's morality to give some money back when you sell something and tell somebody that it's got new brakes and new airbags on it and it doesn't. He has, I know, talked to the seller, and the reason the seller told him that is because when he bought it 2 years prior, apparently he was told that it had new brakes and airbags on it. But if you bought it 2 years ago and you kept it for 2 years and now you're selling it, you can't say it's new. That's 2 years old. So I don't know, but obviously he didn't specifically lie about it, but he just said what it was said when he bought it. But it's still very, very unfortunate. I mean, get an inspection done. We do inspections here. We'll do a video chat inspection on a bus if you're going to look at one. We'll tell you what to look at. You can get a flashlight and stick a camera under there, and we can look at things. So we're not actually there. We've done that for several of our clients in the past and saved them some money. We had one customer that we went and did inspection on. I know I saved him 50 grand. It cost me 50 grand though, because if he would have bought the bus, I'd have had at least 50 grand worth of work on that bus that he was looking at buying, but told him to walk away from it because it was just way too much money to invest. So anyways, that's where we're at with this one. We'll keep you updated on the story and how things work out, but hopefully tomorrow we'll have it out of the shop.
See that white smoke rising up the holler through the trees, and from a mile away you can hear them play as they climb that hill with ease. But at the top of that mountain there's a new life waiting for those who can make the run. If they can make it to the top, Scott will put them in the shop till their new life has begun. Mountain, where the buses come to run. Bus Grease Mountain, we're gonna get that big job done.